Howdy sports fans here, good. Some have said that video games corrupt young minds and turn them into zombie-like drones. In response to that, we will direct you towards the best PS4 games for kids, no FIFA or Fortnite included. If you can quite believe it, we aren't doctors, but we're confident that if your child is looking for a game to play, any of the following kid-friendly games on the PlayStation 4 will provide them with plenty of entertainment. They may even learn a thing or two about construction, dragons, and gaming history. Many of us have played video games well into adulthood, and we turned out just fine. That's because we let games stimulate our mind, which is what the following 10 games for kids of all different ages on the PlayStation 4 can help to do. That said, if you're an adult and scouring this list of the best PS4 games for kids, don't be ashamed. Everyone loves a fun and vibrant game every once in a while. Bear in mind all of these child-friendly games will also work on PS5 through backwards compatibility. We're also not including Crash Bandicoot because unless you are trying to teach your children that life is unfair, they don't belong here. Number 10, Ratchet and Clank. Released alongside the poorly received Ratchet & Clank movie, the 3D platformer is everything fans have loved about the series, but this time in full HD with one of the best video game remakes ever. Ratchet & Clank return in a reboot that captures the whimsy and fun of the original series. The PS4 title is accessible to newcomers of the series and is a balanced platformer that all should be able to get a grasp with. Insomniac Games once again proved that they are a master of storytelling and have a clear vision of what PS4 owners are looking for in their platform gaming. Though less sprawling than its predecessors, there is plenty available to keep players, young and old, engaged. Part of the fun of Ratchet & Clank is that its outward appearance appeals to a younger audience, but the games never shy away from throwing in more mature elements. What's utterly terrifying is that many people who played the originals when they were young now have children of their own. Excuse me while I hyperventilate as my sands of time tick away. Number 9, Dragon Quest Builders 2. The Dragon Quest series has gone through many incarnations, but Dragon Quest Builders 2 is among one of the most child-friendly out there. The games have always been vibrant and colourful with cute characters scurrying about, but this action RPG amps up the cuteness to the nth degree. The sandbox title pits players in the role of a builder who has the opportunity to improve upon their building skills. With the amnesiac Malroth at their side, the builder learns the tricks of the trade to become proficient in their craft. At first glance, Dragon Quest Builders 2 may appear to be a Minecraft clone, but there's so much more to it. Sure, mining resources and building structures are across a world made primarily of blocky landscape may be at the game's focus, but the grand adventure surrounding it creates a more thorough RPG that players of many ages can enjoy. Number 8, Slime Rancher. On the far range, a distant planet from Earth, Beatrix LeBeau takes on the responsibility of a slime rancher. Controlling the up-and-coming rancher, players explore far range, collecting bouncing and flying slime of all colours. If this sounds like pure sugar the game, that's because it is. Slime Rancher is a hybrid farm/zoo simulator and first-person shooter that has wannabe ranchers breeding new slime and cultivating crops to feed them. Everyone has to make money, and you'll be doing that by feeding slime to create valuable plots. Your weapon of choice is an upgradable vacuum pack that sucks up objects all over the world for easy transport back to your ranch. It also creates an enjoyable level of chaos, especially as different regions become overburdened by slime of all types. Slime Rancher is a quirky way to teach kids money management and how to care for pets. No, really. You have to stockpile plots to purchase upgrades and expand your ranch, and there are no plots to be had from a hungry slime. Number 7, Spyro Reignited Trilogy. From the heyday of the original PlayStation rises everybody's favourite purple dragon. Fans of the series had been clamouring for a remaster since the concept of remastering old titles first surfaced. It may have taken a while, but the end product was well worth the wait, regardless of your age. The Reignited Trilogy features Spyro the Dragon, Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage, and Spyro Year of the Dragon, all built from the ground up. Toys for Bob, the game's developers, recreate the original games faithfully, even bringing back Spyro's first voice actor, Tom Kenny, to re-record lines. The Spyro games were whimsical but challenging, a great combination that made them some of the best games on the original PlayStation. Spyro Reignited Trilogy captures what was loved about those games and works in vibrant high-definition visuals to make this an undeniable candidate for the best PS4 games for kids. 6. LittleBigPlanet 3. There was a time when the words realistic physics were unheard of in gaming. Believe it or not, that time wasn't that long ago. In fact, a game like LittleBigPlanet was marvelled for its use of platforming physics. Though not as impressive today, LittleBigPlanet 3 takes up the mantle by delivering a game very reminiscent of its predecessor. As Sackboy, players don unique costumes and race across levels, avoiding hazards and enemies by solving physics-based puzzles. Even players too young to understand the concept of physics can enjoy LittleBigPlanet 3 thanks to seamless local co-op. Tackle pre-created levels or work through a vast library of user-generated content in one of the quirkier games on the PS4. It's so easy to get caught up in the fun of swapping out costumes and tinkering with the game's mechanics that you may never make it through the campaign. Number 5. Rayman Legends. Rayman has been an enjoyable platformer since the titular character's appearance in 1995. He underwent some changes here and there, even partaking in the minigame Heavy Rayman Raving Rabbids before returning to platformers. Rayman Legends is an example of how he works best as a standard platformer. PS4 owners of all ages will be able to enjoy the often challenging platforming across dozens upon dozens of colourful levels. Taking what was panned from Rayman Origins 2 years prior, Ubisoft Montpellier put their all into creating a solid game. And what a solid game it is. Rayman is back in one of his best games to date, joined by Glowbox the Teensies and Barbara. Players can tackle the single player on their own or invite up to 3 friends to join you online or locally. And, who knows, maybe if you buy a copy and then force the kids to buy one with their own pocket money, we may get a new Rayman game one of these days or months or years. Maybe, probably not. Number 4. Sonic Mania. How do you get fans of the Sonic the Hedgehog series to like a new Sonic title? According to the success of Sonic Mania, you make it as close to the original as possible. Though not a remaster or re-release of earlier Sonic games, Sonic Mania mimics the same style of gameplay, replacing recent attempts at 3D levels with classic side-scrolling. Sonic is joined by Tails and Knuckles across 12 new levels, 8 of them being remixed versions of the originals. Sonic Mania features a competitive multiplayer where 2 players square off in a race to the finish. It's not the most in-depth multiplayer experience, but it's still some pretty good fun nonetheless. This is Sonic as he was supposed to be played, and a fitting addition to a library of the best PlayStation 4 games for kids. Also, while none of them are exactly amazing, all of the recent Sonic 3D games are definitely playable. Number 3. A Hat in Time. Clearly inspired by the pioneers of 3D platforming, Super Mario 64 and Banjo-Kazooie, A Hat in Time sets players out in an open world on a cute adventure that only exists thanks to the backers that funded the Kickstarter project. The 3D platformer pits players as Hat Kid, who's on a quest to collect all of her timepieces. Her adventure takes her across time as she pursues Mustache Girl, a villainess on her own hunt for the magical timepieces. With her trusty upgradable umbrella, Hat Kid embarks on the journey of a lifetime in this adorable tale. If you're too young to have played the classic platformers that inspired it, the game gives a good sense of what those 3D titles of the mid-90s were like. In a way, Hat Kid bridges generations, much like the titular character's time-travelling powers. I mean, if you end up playing this more than the kids because it reminds you of a simpler time of staying up on the N64, that's okay too. We won't tell anyone. The kids can feed themselves for a bit. They've got hands. And number 2, Minecraft. Do you love to create? If the answer is yes, and for most kids it probably is, then Minecraft is a must-play title. Unless you get caught up in the survival story that throws many challenges your way, Minecraft is all about just crafting and building. Using only square blocks of different textures and colour, you can spend hours upon hours upon hours upon hours building entire worlds. Again, unless you decide you'd rather play the story mode. But then why would you when you can recreate the epic battle between King Kong and the V-Rex from Peter Jackson's King Kong? No, really, somebody actually did that. Minecraft is such a great kids game, even if some of the youngest minds may not be able to pull off world wonders with their assortment of blocks and interactive items. It's so good that scattered schools across the world have integrated it into their learning environment. It can provide quite a soothing experience that can be used to help teach anything from coding to local landmarks, as seen when the entire nation of Denmark was built in-game. Again, that absolutely happened. And number 1, Knack II. Oops, how did this get here? Oh, tripped and fell and made Knack II number 1, oh no. In the vein of classic action platformers, Knack II is pretty typical. You play as the titular character, smashing through enemies and learning new skills to progress until you reach the final boss and restore order. What really separates other action platformers apart from one another are the enemies you'll face and the skills you'll unlock. Knack isn't your typical protagonist. He can go from near human size to a hulking beast by attaching relics to his body. In his larger forms, Knack kicks and punches his way through waves of enemies, incorporating different moves and skills to take on larger foe. When attacked and while performing certain abilities, Knack loses relics and starts to shrink. It's a fun touch to a very standard type of kids game that helps separate it from others of its kind. The colourful world of Knack II is a visual upgrade from its predecessor, while additional tweaks to gameplay, such as co-op, make this a title fit to be one of the best PS4 games for kids. Knack II is just an outright fun game that really needs more love. Now make Knack free, Sony, you cowards! So that was our list of the best PS4 games for kids. What did we miss? Anything you'd recommend that not enough people know about? Be sure to let us know down in the comments below, and thank you for watching.